Hello, welcome to this crochet tutorial. In this one I'm going to show you how to make the Jasmine stitch simplified face mask. It's a pretty simple thing. It's not as complicated as the original Jasmine stitch is, and it does have, you can see the little star, hexagon looking star that's in it. Gives it a different look. It fits nicely under the chin, firmly over the nose. The chain, you make it long enough so that it'll fit. So come join me and let's make this face mask together. Another thing too, the kind of filter that you will use will be of your preference. I'm not given any options of what kind of filter to use in the making of this mask. But this is cotton yarn. So let's get started. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make the Jasmine stitch simplified face mask. You'll see here our Jasmine is basically in a circular kind of oval, because what I did, I started here in the center. I did my 3 rows, but on the 4th row I only went about halfway, and this gives it like an oval shape. I added a couple of rows of half double crochet on each side and then went around it in a single crochet with a chain stitch for my ears. It fits comfortably. It is capable of holding any kind of filter that you would like to put in it, and I think it's kind of decorative, kind of different than all the rest. So come join me as we make this, the Jasmine stitch simplified face mask. I'm going to be using this blue and green, yellow and white cotton yarn. It is made by Lily, and it's sugar and cream. This one I believe is called Tropical Ocean. It doesn't take a lot of yarn, and that's what would be the nice thing about it. Now the hook that we're going to be using is a 3.75 millimeter crochet hook, and we will also be needing a tapestry needle that'll work for our yarn. So to start, you can see how we have our center here. We have 6 spikes. Each part of these Jasmine stitch stars will have 6 spikes. And you'll also notice that when you go up to the next row, and when we get to that point I'll help you to understand it more, but you'll also see that from the center you have 6 spikes. So it doesn't matter where the center is, here, 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 it'll always have the 6 spikes, kind of giving it like a hexagon look. Okay, so you're going to find that the way I simplified this, it's going to be really simple. For those of you who do know how to do the Jasmine star stitch, you have all this little stuff that you have to do. Well, I eliminated all that to make it so that it'll be easier. So let's get started. Now before we begin, I encourage you to pull some out, so as we're making our stitches that they will be, the tension will all be the same. Okay, so we're going to start off with a magic circle. So just have a nice little tail so that we can weave it in later. Crisscross it over, bring up a loop, and complete a chain stitch. Tighten that first chain on that magic circle, and then chain 1. Okay, so after we do that, we're going to lengthen that loop, make it about a 1/2 inch long. Place your finger on the loop yarn over, and go into the circle and pull up a loop till it's about the same as what we already have here. Okay, each one of our Jasmine stars will only have 2 loops. So for this one, we have the first one, we have the wraparound, and then we have the second one. So yarn over and pull it through all of those loops. Okay, yarn over, pull through 1, pull through 2, just like you're doing a chain stitch. Okay, this will get us started onto our next one. So raise your loop up, place your finger on that loop. Remember, this is going to be loop number 1. Yarn over. We're going to go right in here into that first chain stitch. It's right at the top. Pull up a loop. So that's loop number 2. Now we're going to come down here to the circle. So yarn over, place your finger on that loop, bring up a loop. That's 1. And here's number 2. Then yarn over and pull through all the loops, and then chain 2. 1, 2. Look like a mess right now, but it'll all make sense here pretty soon. So after we have 1, and here's number 2, let's tighten up our loop a little, not all the way shut, and then we can slide everybody over. So after we did our chain 2, let's loosen it up to about 1/2 inch, finger on that loop, yarn over, and into that first chain, pull up a loop, yarn over. Let's go down into the circle. There's 1, and there's 2. Okay, then yarn over through all of them, and then tighten up that loop just a little, chain 1, chain 2. So now we have 3. So we have 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so on this loop we have here on the hook, lengthen it about 1/2 inch, yarn over into that first one. Okay, so that gives us 1, 2. So yarn over, let's go down into our circle, lengthen that. That's 1, and here's 2. Pull it through, chain 1, chain 2. Now in case you're wondering how I make it through all of these loops, remember to aim your hook down and then pull up when you pull it through all those loops. Okay, I'll show you the next time. Okay, so here we got our 1/2 inch loop, yarn over, okay, into that chain 1. So we're going to do this again, yarn over into the circle, pull up a loop. There's number 1, and there's number 2. Okay, so yarn over, aim your hook down, pull up, and you can pull it all through just like that real nicely. Chain 1 and 2. So let's count and see how many we have on our hook so far. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's number 5. So that means we have 1 more to do. So we're going to do the last one just a little bit differently. So here we have our loop up, yarn over into that chain 1. Okay, yarn over into the circle. Here's 1, here's 2. Okay, now to complete our star all the way around, here's where we began. So right here, at the top of that first chain is where we're going to insert our hook again, and we're going to pull up 2 loops. So here's 1 and here's 2. Okay, then yarn over your hook, aim it down, and then push it away from you and pull it all the way through. Okay, then chain 1 and 2. Okay, so we're not done yet. Let's take our magic circle, pull it tight, don't cut it. We're going to have to weave that in later. And here we have our 6 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now before we move on, you can see I'm at the point where I need to pull out some more yarn, so let's do that. All right, ready to move on to row 2. This is basically going to be the continuation, so let me show you here on my finished one. So we finished right here, so you can see where I came up to the next row, but what I did was I kept going and then I kept going. Okay, so now we're going to have kind of like a spiral effect. We're not going to actually need to place a marker because the beginning and the ending won't really matter. But when we do get to the point of where we want to end, that's when we will go ahead and finish our row. So moving on to our next row, let's start off with pulling the loop up, yarn over and through that first one. Okay, we're going to pull it through, chain 2. Okay, so now we're starting the actual row. So yarn up, over into that first chain 1, pull up a loop. Remember, only doing 2, so here's 1 and here's 2. Okay, yarn over. So now we're going to come down here to this circle. So place, keep your finger on there and pull up a loop. Here's 1 and 2. Okay, so let's see how many. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's 5. Okay, so pull it through, chain 2. Okay, so the reason why I counted that is because when we start to move on to the next one, we want to make sure that out of each circle we have 6 of the 2 loops. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now we're going to raise it up, yarn over into that chain 1. Okay, now this will be our 6th one, so we'll yarn over into the circle. Here's 1, here's 2, but we also want to go over to the next circle, okay, which will be right here. So into that circle, loop 1, loop 2. Now you notice that we'll have 3 sets. This won't always be for every time we insert our hook. Sometimes we'll have 2 sets, this time we'll have 3. Okay, so if we look at our circle here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now that we're at our other circle, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means this time we will only need to do 2 sets, not 3. So 1/2 inch up, yarn over, finger on top, into that chain 1, pull up a loop, now into the circle, 1, and 2. Okay, so we have our first set and our second set. Now we're going to finish it and chain 2. Okay, so let's count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 6. So we're going to raise it up, yarn over into that chain 1. Okay, yarn over. Now we're going to make our 6th set. So here's 1 and 2. Okay, so now that we have 6, we want to move on to the next star to complete it as well. So we're going to go into the next one, 1 and 2. You see the circle where all of them come to that place. Okay, so we have all of our sets. Got 1, 2, and 3. So yarn over, aim your hook down, pull it through, 1 and 2. I hope it's not confusing you. I'm trying to stay with you so that we just don't tell you what to do and then leave you hanging. But you'll notice that I do have a lot of loose yarns here, only because when you go slow, you can't really maintain the tension properly. But it'll all work out because all of this will start pulling and it'll all blend in. Okay, so let's start our next one. Okay, here's our circle here in the center. We're not worried about this one right here. Here's our circle. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that means we're only going to do 2 sets. So let's do our first set. So here's into chain 1. Here's our first set. So let's go to our center here. 1 and 2. And then pull it through. Chain 2. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need one more set. Yarn over into that chain 1. And then into the center. 1, 2. So this will make number 6. Okay, so here's set 1, set 2, but this one will make it so that there's 6 here. So now we want to go to our next circle right here. Yarn over. 1, 2, yarn over and through all of them. 1 and 2. Can you see it? Right here is our 6 from the beginning. Okay, so we have done about half. We have 1, 2, over, 1, 2. Right here's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. See? So if you look at each one of these intersections here, you'll see how the opening here is where each one of these center of the stars will be. Okay, and so like I showed you here, you can see it kind of looks like a V-stitch with one that goes across the top, but no matter where the hole is, you'll always see the 6. Okay, so let's continue on. All right, so do you know what to do next? Okay, first you want to count 1, 2, 3, 4. That means we're only going to do 2 sets. So let's lengthen, yarn over, and in the chain 1, here's our first set. 1, 2. Okay, now we're going to go to the center hole right here, yarn over. So this will make our 5th arm, I guess you could say, of our star. Yarn over through all of them, chain 2. Okay, so we're going to be working in this star again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's do it one more time. Okay, so here's set 1. Go into the chain 1. Okay, we're going to go to the circle right here. Pick up 2. 1, 2. Now this is the 6th one for this star, but we need to continue over here. So don't forget, we're going to go over to the next one. Now if that was number 5, no, we wouldn't come over to the next one. So now here we have 3 sets. We have 1, this will take it across. This one, which will be leg number 6 or arm number 6 in this star right here. And then this one will start our new star over here. So yarn over, pull it through, chain 2. Okay, so let's keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means we're only going to do 2. We're going to do this one and this one. So 1/2 inch, yarn over, into the chain 1, pull up a loop, yarn over, into the center, 1 and 2. Yarn over through all of them, chain 2. You can kind of see the pattern in this particular yarn. I'm starting to think the multi-variegated is might not be the best choice, but so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means we're going to go this one, and this one over here. So you go ahead and do that one, and then when you come to this one here, I want you to tell me, see if you can figure out what to do to finish this particular row before we move on. All right, so did you get it right? Okay, because I'm gonna have to let you loose here pretty soon. All right, so you count. Here's your center, so you count 1, 2, 3, 4. That means we're only going to do 2 sets. So let's lengthen, yarn over into that chain 1, pull up a loop. So we're going to go into the center and pull up 2 loops, 1 and 2, because this will make the 5th. So we're only going to do 2. Yarn over through all those loops and chain 2. Okay, so you can tell we're going to finish our row off here pretty soon. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means we're going to do 1 here, and 1 over here. Or we can just move right on up. And that'll take us to the next row. Okay, so yarn up, pull up a loop through the center, 1, 2. Okay, so I'm not going to come here. I'm going to go to the next one right over here, which will be up and over, and that'll close that gap. So 1 and 2. So we have 3, 1, 2, 3. Yarn over through all of them, chain 2. Okay, so let's get started. Yarn over. We got 1. We got 1, 2, 3. This will be number 4. So yarn over through all of them. Okay, yarn over. Back through the chain 1. Into the center. 1, 2. That'll give us 5 arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we're going to go ahead and make 6. Yarn over. Here's number 6. And then on to the next. 1 and 2. Okay, count how many we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That means we're going to go through this first one here, and then so we're going to do 2. If you notice that in the sequence of all of this, we do 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. Okay, so count your star arms, legs, whatever you want to call them, and then where your circles are at, and that'll tell you how many you'll have to do in sets, either 2 or 3. Okay, so let's continue on. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one will make number 5. Okay, so we want to do it one more time. Through chain 1, through the center, and on to the next one. And then chain 2. See if you can keep on going all the way around. I'll meet you at the end of the row. Okay, so I've completed my row. How did you do? You should have ended with 3 sets, 1, 2, 3, and that would have let you up onto the hole up on the beginning of the row. So we have here 1, 2, 3, so that means we're only going to do 1 set. So into that chain 1, and then chain 2, and then this time we're going to yarn over. Here's 1 set into the center again. For this will be our leg or arm number 5, so we just do 2 sets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we're going to be moving forward. So 1/2 inch up, yarn over into that chain 1, pull up a loop, yarn over into the center, pull up 2 loops, and then into the next one. 1 and 2. Okay, so to let you know what we have here, here's our center. We did row 1, row 2, we are beginning row 3. And as I showed you in my demo here, we did 3 rows and then half of a 4th row. So continue on until you get to the end of the row like you did before, and then just do half, and I'll meet you there. So how did you do? Okay, here's my center, row 1, 2, 3. Here's my center, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can tell here where the stopping and starting was at, so I did a curvature that made it so that it looked oval. Okay, so basically it's almost half a circle. So after we did the last, I have 3 sets here. I chained 1, let's chain 2, and I'm going to come over here and slip stitch, and that'll close that off. And let's go ahead and cut it and pull it through. We'll take this and weave it in. And so here's the beginning. If you feel it, it's so soft and cushiony. I like it. Okay, so this is our magic circle. So we want to take this, go in it a couple of times, weave it around so that we can go ahead and finish it, and do the same thing with this. Weave it in and out, go around inside the circle, and then go ahead and cut it close. So after we've done all that, we're going to go ahead and start here. First, I would like for you to find the center. Here you got your oval shape. Find the center and then turn it. Well, looks like I'm off a little. So here and here is my centers. Okay. So we're going to come over 1, 2, and I'll be starting with a standing double crochet right here. So to start a standing double crochet, remember I'm going to start right here. Place your finger on the slip knot on your hook, wrap it around, go into that hole, pull up a loop, make everything back to proper tension, through 2 loops, through 2 loops. Okay, so we have a standing double crochet. It looks nicer than having just a chain stitch. Let's pull our tail over. In our next stitch, we're going to do a half double crochet. So this big long one right here, let's do 1 half double crochet. And in the hole, 1 half double crochet. And in the long one again, 1 half double crochet. You can see I'm also going over my tail. Now in the hole for our next one, we're going to place 2 half double crochets. This will be our center point. Allow it to spread open. Okay, so in our long one, 1 half double crochet. In our hole, 1 half double crochet. So basically what we're doing is we're repeating what we've already done. So here's 3. Okay, let's double check. 1, 2, 3. Here's our center. 1, 2, 3. So in this hole, we're going to place 1 double crochet and turn our work. My yarn kind of got caught up. And then chain 1. Now this first one right here, we're going to skip. We're going to go into the second one. So half double crochet, 1 in our second one, and in our third one. In our next stitch, 2 half double crochet, okay, then do 2 single half double crochets, and for our last one we're going to do half double crochet 2 together. So into the first hole, yarn over, and we're going to go into where we did our slip knot. Okay, and that'll pull it all together just like that. And make a little cut with our tail and finish it off. And we'll take and weave this in. Then you want to do the same thing over here on this side. Remember to go straight across, which will be right here. 1, 2, start there. Half double crochet, half double crochet, half double crochet, 2 half double crochet. Okay? So do the same thing that we just did over here. And this is our finished look. So now we're going to go ahead and place our edging onto it. I'd like for you to decide which is going to be your front and your back, because we're going to place our single crochet stitching around it to make it look with a clean, professional finish. So let's start in this corner with a standing single crochet. Okay, bring your tail around so you can stitch over it. We have 1 stitch in, we have 2 stitches, and then 3. And the reason why I say 3 is so that you can have uniform stitching. This will be along the half double crochet and the double crochet edging. Now in that first circle that we started our standing double crochet in, we're going to place a single crochet in there. I'll make it a little loose so that it'll help pull it up still. Then in the loop right here, 1 single crochet, then in the hole, 1 single crochet. Okay, and you're going to do that all the way across. You will see it pull it in and down just a little. That's okay. This will help so that you can get a good secure fit around your face. Now, another thing too, you will need a filter for this. This is not, this is a cover, so you will want to put a filter in fabric, coffee liner, whichever one you feel comfortable with. So we're going to keep on going around here. 1 in the long one, 1 in the hole. Okay, keep going until you get to this end right here, and I'll meet you there and we'll put on our chains for our ear loop. Okay, so here I am at the end. I am going to do a chain of 23 that seem to fit for me. What you will want to do is place this on your face with your nose and your mouth in the center, and then as you push this around, after you make a chain of 23, see if it'll loop around and feel comfortable when you attach it to the other side. So go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you in a second here. Okay, so to attach our chain, we want to make sure it's not twisted. And right here at the end, go ahead and place it a single crochet, and then we'll do our single crochets down the side. And here's our third one. Okay, and then in the hole you want to make it a little looser just for that one. Okay, and then in the big loop and in the hole, the big loop and the hole. Okay, I did want to show you, you see how mine has curled a little right here? This is what we want it to do. We want it to curl just that little bit. So keep going around, make the chain that you need, and I'll show you how to finish it right here. So to finish the chain, we want to go into the top of that first standing single crochet and do a slip stitch, and then slip stitch into the next stitch. Now you can do this for a couple of stitches if you like. This is to help secure that the strap here. Okay, then we'll go ahead and cut it, and you will weave your ends in. I usually will go on the back side right along here, go back and forth a couple of times so it doesn't come out, and we have a finished face mask. I really like the style of this. Also, it's nice and cushy, and it's big enough so that you can still talk and carry on a conversation. So I thought I'd show you how I finish it. Here I've gone under a few and pull that knot down in there. Let's go over a couple of more. Okay. Then you go over the top one and then into the next one. Okay, and then one more time, go over the top one and under the next. And then pull it through. And this will help keep it from coming out. Oh, and in case you're wondering, this is called a wool needle. I got this off of Amazon. I love them. I don't have a link for it, but I guess I can put it in the description box. It's got a little like fish line finish here, and it makes it so that if you have to go through bulky fabrics or bulky, I used to sew a lot, bulky yarns, it'll help so that you can get a good finish on it. So here's a better look at it. So I hope you enjoy this face mask. I'll show you what mine looks like with it on. Well, I hope I don't scare you, but see how nice it fits? It goes nicely around the ears. Okay. It goes nicely under the chin. And then firmly around the ears again. Okay, guess you can see a side profile. I don't know, I like the look of it. I think it's pretty. But I thank you for joining me today, and I hope your face mask turns out nice like mine did. And hope you come back. Please be safe during this time. I know it's a challenging time right now, trying to maintain social distancing and go through all the concerns and preparations. But you can do it. I know you can, because I can, you can. So until next time, hope to see you again. Keep crocheting and keep happy. Keep your life going. Don't be overcome by the fear, because you know you can do it. So till next time, bye-bye. In the fitting of this, you're going to find that if you need to make it larger, you can still go around another time, or you can add more to the sides. This is mostly designed for whoever chooses to wear this. It is soft and comfortable, but if you need something that's wider and bigger, I encourage you, you'll see in the directions on how to do the adding more around, and then you can add extra rows here on the side if you need to. So let's get started, and I think you will be very happy with the overall results on this face mask.